Beautiful island of Kauai in Hawaii. My name is Jong-woo Han. I am the president of Korean War Legacy Foundation. We have more than 1,500 Korean War veterans interviewed, not only from the United States, but all other countries, including Canada, Great Britain, France, Philippines. And we are doing this to preserve your memory because it's been a long time. Since the breakout of the Korean War in 1950, and to honor your service. But at the same time, Korean War has been known as a forgotten war, and we don't want to do that, so that we're going to use this veterans interview for teachers, so that teachers can use in their classroom to teach about the legacy and the lessons of the Korean War. We not support war, we're not warmongering, but we want to have our young children to know about what happened during the war. So it's my great pleasure and honor to meet you, sir, here in Kauai. Please introduce yourself. What is your name, sir?
Robert Yasutaka Hiraoka.
Could you spell your last name?
Hiraoka.
Hiraoka.
Yes.
And what is your birthday, sir?
January 7, 1930.
1930, so you are just 92?
92.
Just 92. I don't know what's going on here, but everybody looks younger than their age. It's not fair. It's not fair. And where were you born?
Hanapepe, Kauai.
Kauai. And tell me about your family background, your parents and your siblings when you were growing up.
My father was a businessman, and that's how he had immigrated to Kauai. Started a market.
Market?
Hanapepe.
Ah.
A small market. He had I think it was a 1930 truck, I think, Ford. And he was going from sugarcane laborers' camp, selling his pots and pans and whatnot.
Brilliant. Brilliant at the time. And what high school did you graduate?
I graduated from Kauai High School.
Kauai, when?
1948.
1948. When you were in school, did anybody teach about the history of Korea or culture? Did you know anything about Korea from your education in the high school?
I can't recall anything.
So you didn't know much about Korea at all?
Not much.
Okay. And after graduation, what did you do?
I went in the service. As usual, most of us didn't have enough money or brains to go to college, higher grade. So the easiest path would be to join a service. And I joined and got an education.
So you were not drafted, but you enlisted, right?
Yes.
When?
1948.
48. And that was Army, right?
Yes.
Okay.
They didn't keep the promise, except.
I'm sorry?
Well, they promised to send me to Fort Monmouth as a radio repair person.
Radio.
Yeah. Instead of that, I ended up as a Morse code high-speed operator.
Ah.
And I went to school in Camp Gordon, Georgia.
I see. So Army sent you there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. And when did you leave for Korea?
Well, I was stationed in Japan first.
Where?
Yokohama.
Yokohama.
They had a network. The Army had a network, communication network.
Yeah.
And it's all UHF. The main station was in Yokohama.
Yokohama.
Up near the racetrack. And then they had several repeater stations among all the high mountain area, resort area. I unfortunately, I didn't get station one of them. But I was a Yokohama.
So what was your unit at the time?
8035th Signal Company.
What was it?
8035.
Radio
A Company.
A company. And what was your job? Morse code or what did you do? Repair?
Repair.
Repair. And so you knew that at the time, when was it? At the time, was it 1950 or?
Yeah, 1950.
So did you know that already Korean War broke out, right?
Yeah, but that happened late in August, June.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. So what happened to you? Did you go to Korea?
Well, yeah, after I had education, I was still in the 8th Army network. And so they took my company, and that's when I lost the company name, 8035 A Company. They completely changed that to an Army unit, which became only UHF communication relay station.
Communication release?
Yeah, that's what I was in when I went to Korea. I was in the, you don't call it the first, I was assigned with the regimental combat teams, headquarters. That's where we ended up. So the regimental commander had communication, direct communication from there to Tokyo.
So from Yokohama, where did you land in Korea? Was it Busan or
Busan.
Incheon? Okay.
Busan.
When was it?
August 8th,
1950?
50. Yeah.
1950 August. So that was the kind of Busan perimeter area.
It's what?
Busan perimeter.
Yeah.
There was
Busan.
North Koreans attack and they came down
Yeah,
to
Busan
Busan.
was good. Yeah.
Oh, tell me about it. How was it? How was it at
Well,
the
it was a
time?
nice city, and
But it was in the middle of war.
well, it wasn't safe to go at night because they had a lot of guerrilla warfare going on. I was there for 1 week, and they assigned us as a relay team up on a mountain.
Where in Busan?
What's that?
Daegu?
It's one of the triangles. It starts Marriott.
You mean at the north?
The Busan perimeter.
Busan perimeter, yes.
Most northern, the one next to Daegu.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Marriott. They had a name for that.
Oh, I can remember.
3 stations anyway.
Yeah.
One on the west, and the north Marriott, and one on the east. That
And
was
what
the perimeter.
what did you
Nakdong
do?
River was.
Nakdong River, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Wow, so you were in the first phase of the Korean War.
Korea.
Did you engage in any battle?
Yeah, Battle of the Nakdong.
Tell
Two
me.
battles there, but
Tell
the
me
bridge,
about it.
The Blue Bridge, Red Bridge, we had 2 there. After that, we start going north. It's just almost non-stop, all the way to Pyongyang.
So you went to Pyongyang.
Yeah, then I went to Sinanju,
Yeah.
but before we got to the Yellow River, Chinese intervention happened. We're just running back to Busan. Not Busan, but Incheon.
So you were in Busan and then went up to Yalu River, and then Chinese intervened in early October and officially November, in early November, and then you went down to Incheon.
Incheon.
So you saw all this.
Oh yeah, all right.
Give me the detail. What did you see? How was it? Detail. Give me detail.
Yeah, it's terrible. The line of, what do you call it? Immigrants, going back.
Yeah.
First they would go north And then later on, the withdrawal, you see all these immigrants going back with their belongings in the pack. It was beautiful to see young children and elderly men, families carrying. Sad thing to see.
Mm. And a lot of soldiers were killed, right, by the Chinese when you withdraw.
Oh, yeah. That's when you heard bugles, lights from United States there, anti-aircraft lights. I heard the bugle. Your hair stand up in the back. But I had no direct firepower when they were coming over. I was behind the second DLMI.
Mm-hmm. And did you see Chinese soldier actually fighting?
No, but I found all the wounded ones, dead ones.
Mm.
By the time we got.
What were you thinking when you were in the middle of this withdrawal from North Korea? I mean, were you?
Much. I was, let's see, I was 19 going to 20 already. It's December that happened. Oh, yeah, I was 20 already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you withdraw, you were not able to sleep properly inside of the building? What did you do?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about what did you eat?
Yeah.
Where did you sleep?
Yeah, we was a relay team number 1, which would be assigned to the regimental most forward headquarters. And we had, at that time, we started with 17 as a team. But after 2 weeks, 17, part of it got annihilated from guerrilla warfare. So we had a 7-man team after that. We'd go with the headquarters, set up our communications. This is all UHF. And so UHF, you have to have point-to-point, and that means you're up in a mountain, one of the mountains anyway. That's the beginning, yeah. Mm. So at the end, we had the one headquarters station in Busan. Next one would be Daegu, capital, then up to Sinanju.
Yes.
You would have the relay all the way back. The general would talk to somebody in Tokyo. Yeah, that's a communication they had.
Exactly. Were there any special memory that you had when you work as a repairman of the radios? Anything?
Yeah, it's a makeshift of what we have today.
Mm-hmm.
Today they have vans. We're running around with 2.5-ton trucks with canvas wrapped around, and all the electronic equipment lifted up, and we used to tie the, they call it the bay carriers, radio telephone equipment on the truck with a canvas. And if it rains, you gotta lift your feet up again, you might get electrocuted. But that was the beginning of what you have today in vans, ready-made equipment, small miniature equipment. We didn't have those. You had a 75 power, they call it a PE75. You'd have to carry it piggyback.
Oh.
Yeah, barely carry that thing. But most time we would have Korean workers with A-frame carry that thing on.
A-frame, yes.
Yeah, that was good. Didn't have to carry it up there. And I mean, it's high heels up.
Were you able to eat properly when you withdraw from Sinanju, come down to main line of resistance?
Mostly K rations, yeah.
C ration?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your favorite menu?
No favorite, but we find for the one that has cookies and whatnot.
Cookie?
Yeah, that's some with cookies, K1.
Okay.
Other than that, you would eat it because it's a meal. Mm. We used to heat it up on our helmet, but after you find out, you're weakening the helmet, so we give up hitting those things. We used to eat it cold. Then when you get up to Pyongyang, it's 41 below the temperature when I got there in November. It's hard to eat, heat up your food, you know. But it was 41 below, I recall.
So looking back all those years, must have been really tough, right?
Well,
What do you think about it now?
the thing is, I was 20 years, you know, I was 19 when I landed and went through living in pop tents. Then you gotta, when you go up north, you start digging your dugout. But those things, at 19, 20, it's some of the war, you have to do it. And you see it in World War II movies where the guy is digging a hole, you know, for himself. But we do that when we were up in the north.
Mm-hmm. So after you withdraw from North Korea, where did you stay?
From there, Wonchao,
Wonsan?
yeah, outside of Seoul.
Oh, outside of Seoul. Munsanni.
The demarcation line.
Munsan.
No, we didn't go down to Busan.
No, I'm talking about Munsanni. Mun.
Oh, yeah, I forgot the name. It was something Chao.
Chao.
Yong Chao. That's the beginning. From there, we used to commute to Seoul.
Commute to Seoul.
Yeah.
So when you saw, how was Seoul at the time? Did you see Seoul around?
Oh, not in shambles at all, but the dome was still there. Yeah, in fact, I slept one night underneath the Capitol building. That's where a lot of refugees were staying. That's all I remember. Just one night we stayed.
And have you been back to Korea since then?
Yes, I went to revisit.
When?
1996, I think.
1996.
Yeah.
And that's it?
No, I went another one. I was able to get revisited 96.
You just said that 1996, and then another one. 2000?
2009, I think.
2009.
I think. Yeah.
So-
Two times I had a revisit.
So tell me about it. When you went back to Seoul,
I was just astonished to see the rubbles that you had in Miji, and you see the buildings, you know, beautiful buildings. And then what's the name? I know there was a lot of generals, veterans that owned the bus system, I think, transportation.
yeah.
Well, I see the name. What's the one that see every time in buildings? I should remember that.
Baek Sun-yeop?
But,
MacArthur, or you talking about Korean general?
I don't remember Lee,
Lee Seung-man?
shorter guy, yeah, general.
Huh. Anyway. So what did you feel about it when you saw Korea again and completely changed?
I was just amazed, astonished at the recuperation they did, you know. Buildings were nice, beautiful buildings. But I think there's a name that always go with the Korean buildings. I can't remember that.
When did you leave Korea during the war? You
I
came
left in November 25th, 1921. Oh, 1951,
51.
yeah.
So you were there from August 8th of 1950 to November 51.
About a year and a half, yeah.
Yeah, year and a half. When you left Korea in 1951, did you ever think that Korea would become like this today?
No, I had hopes because when I saw Japan, when I was there in 1949, to when I went to I had a rest and recuperation, R&R.
Yeah.
After 6 months in combat, I'd go back to Tokyo, Yokohama. I was surprised the developments, hotels, cars. Before it used to be only rickshaw.
So you were hoping that Korea can do something similar to what
definitely.
Japan? Yeah.
I knew it would be, because the war supplies would come from Japan, but the commerce was there.
Yep.
But it's to be, at that time, I recall the last time, they were #2 economy at that time.
Yes.
I don't know if I didn't follow that after it.
But now Korea is 10th largest economy in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
What do you
not-
think?
It's not surprising.
Not surprising?
No, to me, it wasn't.
Why not?
Well, you know, it's not nature of Korean. It's hardworking. Yeah. My brother-in-law is married to one of the Korean girls. Yeah. And I don't know. I'd have to see the results of what I expected. Of course, nothing like coming and see it, you know. Something.
Are you proud to be a Korean War veteran?
Of course. Not to be as part of a UN part. I'm glad I had my part in there. And happy to see Korea, the economy, everything's up.
So the Korean War has lasted more than 70 years since the armistice in July 27 of 1953. Next year will be 70th anniversary of ceasefire, not peace treaty.
Right.
What do you think about that?
Well, I like to see a peace treaty come out, but it's difficult, I think.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people, I don't know if most of the population in Korea would like to become one unit. But I always think it's good. It's never good to divide it.
Yep. Any other message to the Korean people about your service as a Korean War veteran?
I'm just happy I was able to be in the Korean War. I mean, not that I wanted to be, but it was part of the UN. I was in there.
Because of your service there, that Korean people were given another chance to rebuild their nation, and that's where they are now.
Well, I don't think it that way. I think of all the immigrants moving south, the lines of it, you know, during summer, dusty, winter, freezing. I mean, I don't want them to be in Hawaii immigrating on the highway like that, you know. So I'm happy about that.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you for your service, honorable service, and our future generations need to know about this.
Thank you.
So thank you for your fight for the Korean people.
Well, I'm happy to see the day is coming. Right?
Thank you.
Thank you.